Welcome to Canberra 2 and the PS4 MPL Capital Football match between Tuggeranong United and Gungahlin United here on a sunny but cool Canberra afternoon. I'm your commentator, Russ Gibbs, this afternoon, and joining me is Woden Western FC head coach Tony Oliveira. Tony, welcome, and looking forward to today's game.
Hi Russ, how are you? Thanks for inviting me. Yes, it's a lovely day. A little bit chilly, but the sun's out, so we'll see how we go.
Certainly not as bad as the Doomongers had us say earlier in the week with the temperatures down here in Canberra, -8 in the morning, -8.5, whatever it was yesterday. It's actually quite a pleasant afternoon at the moment, isn't it? If that wind picks up, though, it might be a bit cooler.
Yes, well, that's why I brought my long jacket here today, Russ. It was nice and sunny over at Riverina yesterday, 17 degrees.
Well, we're just about to go on to that. Well, a couple of results from yesterday for those of you that follow the league. Monera Panthers were beaten 4-0 at home by the FFA COE, which keeps the Centre of Excellence top of the table, albeit with Olympic having a game in hand. They played Tigers FC this afternoon. And your team, Woden Western, went to Riverina and came away with a 3-0 win. A couple of goals from Daniel Sokowski and a goal from Martin Deng as well.
Yes, it was a tough game. I tell you, the Riverina at home, they were a very, very strong side. I watched them against Belconnen the week before. And a completely different side. Very, very tough at home, and that hard surface also takes it out of the boys. And
you guys, some of the teams that have gone down have taken the approach of going the night before and staying over and you know, then playing the game like that. You guys decided to go down on the day of the game. It was a 4.5-hour coach trip. So how did the boys recover after that?
Well, they recovered with a few ales on the bus, if that's what you mean. But no, look, we couldn't. We've got a couple of students and also some players that work on Friday night, so it was hard for them to take it off. So we braved it, and it was a long trip, but worthwhile.
Yeah, it's good. Always good to get 3 points, and it's putting you in a decent position in the league at the moment. Are you pushing for finals? Is that something you guys were looking for?
So, to be honest, Russ, we're taking it one game at a time, and that's the philosophy that we've taken since we've had those new signings on board, and we're growing together. We've turned the corner since the Monero game, where we had a good win there, and each week we can see the confidence and see the atmosphere and the environment improving.
Is that 4 wins from 5 from the last 5 for you?
Yes, and I can tell you now, we were pretty unlucky against Cooma. We had a depleted side, but we gave it a really good effort there, and that's the game where I was probably the most disappointed, because we were right in the game, and another couple of goals in that second half, beginning of the second half, and it could have been a different complexion of the game.
So good result for you guys yesterday. Looking ahead, 2 massive games in this afternoon around Canberra, apart from the one we've got here, of course. Canberra Olympic against Tigers over at O'Connor, and Canberra FC against Belconnen at Deakin Stadium. Yeah. Difficult to predict both those games, but if you were going to put your neck on the line, what would you be thinking the outcome might be?
Look, I think TJ will make a difference for Cooma, but Olympic, they're on a roll, and they will want this result before the FFA Cup games come around. And FC in Belconnen, that's going to be very interesting. I think Nick Kalfas might, the new signing for Canberra FC, I think he's going to stand up today with a bit more service. I think he's going to get in amongst the goals. So
we've had a bit of a striker merry-go-round in Canberra this past 3 weeks. As you said, Nick Kalfas from Tuggeranong United has gone to Canberra FC. Thomas James, who had a falling out there, we understand, has moved to Cooma Tigers. And Alex Rigby, who was floating between the pair and played for both in the past, is now with Tuggeranong United, and we'll see him make his debut this afternoon.
I look forward to seeing Alex playing up front. He hasn't played up front for a while. He's been playing at 7 or 11 out wide. Now, his combination with another new signing, Fernando, who's come over from Queanbeyan City, that's the one I'm looking forward to, and see how many goals they create.
Yeah, Alex will be on 98 MPL goals. He's looking for that 100. He's been injured. Last couple of seasons have been difficult for him. He's had a knee injury, but I was speaking to him before, and he says he's back to his best. We'll hopefully see that this afternoon.
I hope so. Alex on his day can win a game on his own, and it will depend on the service that he and Fernando get from the Tuggeranong 6 and 8, I think.
Yeah, we'll look at the two teams when they come out in just a moment, but Tuggeranong United 7th on the ladder, 4 wins, a draw and 5 losses with 13 points. Gungahlin 5th on the cusp of that top 4. 6 wins, a draw and 4 losses. Fair to say Marcel Munoz has done a good job at Gungahlin this season, perhaps with a team when you looked at it at the start of the year that maybe quite a lot of people didn't expect to do quite this well.
No, he's done remarkably well. I mean, he's an experienced lad. He's had the Canberra United Academy, the youth section of that, so he knows how to coach. He's gone to national titles and whatnot. But this is his first foray into the NPL, and he's done a remarkable job. Virtually the same team as last year that Gungahlin had. Okay, a couple of inclusions. Ronaldo from Belconnen, the young fellow, the young striker. But no, he's done very, very well.
These two teams met in round 3 in late April earlier this year, and Gungahlin edged it by a goal to 0. Not much in it. We didn't get many goals, 80 goals last week at Canberra FC Olympics, so we're hoping for a few this afternoon.
Let's hope so. It's a nice sunny day. There's a little bit of a crowd here, and I'm hoping it's an entertaining game, and I expect Gungahlin to bounce back today.
Well, Gungahlin taking the field in their yellow shirts and black shorts. We'll look at their lineup in just a moment. But looking at Tuggeranong United first, Tom Barton in goal, Nick Faust, Marco Gar, John O'Churek and Matt King across the back 4. Holding midfielders, it looks like 2 there, Dom Colacello and Daniel Roberts. Front 3, if you like, of Marshall Smythe, Fernando, Andrew Slavic and Alex Olarugby at the pointy end. What are we expecting from that group?
Oh, look, I expect more of the same from Tuggeranong with their pacey fullbacks overlapping. Plus Marshall Smythe, he's a young fellow who's coming into his own now, and he'll add some pace up at number 7.
Gungahlin United will start with Jason Denham in goal. Their back 4, Osman Daramy, Jack Green, David Jenkins and young Eli Howe, who played a bit in the under-20s just a moment ago. Regan Walsh and Anthony Timotheo just in front of them. Augustin Bangura at the pointy end of their midfield 3. And then the front 3 for them of Thomas Kirklich, Jason O'Dwyer and Misko Naumoski. Decent looking lineup as well, a lot of pace in there.
Yes, look, I think the return of Jack Green will add that solidness to the back line. I think as I said earlier, I think Gungahlin will just edge this one again with Jack Green back in the side.
Well, Green is the beating heart, you think, of this side. He's got a lot of experience. There's a lot of young boys out there that we can see as well around him. A few experienced heads. Misko Naumoski, an interesting one. He's been around Canberra football for quite some time now. He always gives you 100%, doesn't he, and offers you quite a bit going forward. Absolutely.
Look, Misko is an experienced player. He has actually been good for Marcel with those young players around the team. Look, I'm actually looking at something personal here in regards to some of the players I coached at the schoolboys level. For Tuggeranong, you got Faust and Marshall Smythe, and for Gungahlin, you got Timoteo and Kirklich. So they're lads that come through my schoolboys side.
Our refereeing team this afternoon, Bruno Kell in the middle for the 3rd game that we've done in a row. He thinks we're stalking us. We're stalking him this. He's needed the FFA qualifying final and the Canberra Olympic game last week. His assistants are Gareth Biggs and Angela Gray, who just refereed the under-20s match. So we're all set here for a decent afternoon's football.
Well, let's hope it's a great game, Russ, and an entertaining game. The crowd's starting to build up a bit. Look, as I said earlier, I think Gungahlin will edge this one.
Well, it will be Gungahlin in the yellow shirts to kick off, attacking the goal to our left. Just checking the nets on both sides. There's the sun, which will go down across the back of the trees as we're looking at it from the camera angle here today. So there will be some shadows cast across the pitch later on. Might make player identification a little bit difficult, but we'll do our best from our perch at the back of one of the main stands here, even with some of the Tuggeranong United under-20s boys who've come off the back of their result. Look, I'm
going to say that Gungahlin looking very much like Kumatago's in the yellow and black outfit.
Well, it is the almost said Tigers there. So it's Gungahlin who's got us underway, and it's the first touch of the afternoon for Bangura. Switching play towards, but it's intercepted, and the first chance perhaps for Alex Olarugby to take on his man, but a good sliding challenge come across there from Jenkins to dispossess him.
That's going to be a good battle there, Green versus Olarugby.
Here's Daramy. In the shadows of the trees over on the far-hand side, and the ball's out of play for a throw-in. As you mentioned, that duel between Green and Olarugby, one of several pivotal duels that we're going to see this afternoon.
Absolutely there.
Long throw is finding Bangura in a bit of space, but he can't get away from Gaia, who wins the throw. Marco Gar, we spoke about him in the FFA Cup finals, reinvented himself as a centre-back this season, Tony, and you've coached him before. Is that something you would have expected from him?
I think he's been playing well at number 11, left wing in his career, but I think at centre-back he provides that pace, and he's got a sweet left foot.
Well, this ball's going to go harmlessly through for the first touch of the afternoon for Tom Barton, former Cooma Tigers goalkeeper. And he'll start Tuggeranong rolling. Faust on the overlap, and a fair bit of space for Nick Faust here if he can find the pass in field. Here's Fernando, the first touch from the Chilean. He's robbed well by Jenkins, and here come Gungahlin. Again, it's sloppy play, and Fernando tries to get the ball back, but it's fallen away as far as Matt King. And that's helped on towards Ola Rigby, and across comes Jenkins, once again sliding the ball off the toe of Ola Rigby. A couple of loose touches from Fernando there on his home debut.
Yeah, there's been a rumour that he's got a sore back. We've heard he's got a sore back, so that might be restricting him a little bit.
We'll talk about that in just a second, as Gungahlin try and start an attack with Daramy. Pass is easily picked off, though, by John Chirek, who kicked it out for a throw-in. Yeah, I was talking to the Tuggeranong coaches in the warm-up, and Fernando Jorquera, who's come across from Chile, played for the Super Under-20s over there and for Audax Italiano, had a tweak in his back that he was feeling, but he's obviously come through to start the game here today. And we're looking forward to seeing what he can do on his home debut along with Ola Rigby. A couple of new forward signings for Tuggeranong.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that, to seeing the combination that he can produce with the Ola Rigby, and also Nick Faust, this overlapping Tuggeranong youngster, who scored a double against us, Woden Western, a few weeks back. And look, he's growing into the game, into the NPL game.
With Faust exchanging passes with Smythe there, but it's Green has come across to win it. Now Mosky helps it on, and O'Dwyer. But Chirek plucks it off him. Falls for Timotheo. And Gungahlin happy to start again at the back with Jason Denham. Experienced goalkeeper, been around for a long time.
Jason had a solid game in the two games that we played against Gungahlin this year.
The ball's going to go straight away through to Barton again, who sends it forward. Tuggeranong haven't played at Canberra too much this season. They've been playing a lot of home games out of Greenway, so the pitch is looking in pretty good condition for this time of year.
I've heard that, they also have had a couple of games at AOS as well. They're trying to find a home base. I think they're trying to move away from Canberra too.
The spiritual home of Tuggeranong, some would say, but the facilities down here not as good as some other Premier League grounds, and I'm sure they won't mind us saying that. Green has this, plenty of time for Green. Just to talk a little bit more about Fernando, the new signing there. He's an interesting character. He was here in Canberra, believe it or not, in 2012 for in the La Estrella Chilean side that took part in the Kanga Cup.
Oh, okay.
Which is, as I'll just break off, because Roberts tries one from distance, but it's dipped into the hands of Denham. And he played in that Chilean team here in Canberra, and it's Kanga Cup week this week as well. So that's quite an interesting story there. And he's back here now in the NPL. I'm sure back then, when he played in Kanga Cup 5 years ago, so he wouldn't have imagined he'd be playing NPL this afternoon.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he enjoyed his time here with the Kanga Cup and said, this is why I want to play some football.
Well, he's out there this afternoon, and we'll see what he's going to do. Early days in this match, 5 minutes gone here live on Bar TV Sports. No score, as Ola Rigby goes down the left wing. First chance he's had to run at his man. He loves to take on his man, does Ola Rigby, and he's got into the penalty area, still going. Tries to cut it across the air, but it's well defended in the end by a combination of Jenkins back there, I think that was.
Kirklick's on the ball now.
And Thomas Kirklick brings it away to O'Dwyer. Tries to switch play. He's got a niggle from behind there, but Bruno Cal lets that one go, and Fernando goes back to collect. And Tuggy's playing on the left wing, and this is King, who's making a burst. And across goes Jenkins. Heavily involved early on, David Jenkins.
Yeah, I think he's had to be. He's got his hands full with Ola Rigby.
He's going to get another touch here. I think one thing you can say about these two centre-backs, though, Tony, is they won't be phased, Jenkins and Green, very composed on the ball, both of them.
I would say arguably the most experienced partnership at the back in Canberra.
There's a free kick there for a little nudge by Howe. Yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, Ely Howe. Coming through the ranks here at Gungahlin.
Very, very good, talented young player. I'm surprised he's starting in this game. He's played 60 minutes in the PL20s that was just completed.
Well, obviously, Munoz rates him very highly to bring him in. Guy took that free kick. It's going to fall for Roberts, who just tries to stab it through, and Gungahlin bringing it away. Daramy just sends it down the field.
Now, talking about centre-backs for us, it looks like it's an unusual formation here with Marco Gaia, a sweet left foot, on the right side of the centre-back, and Turek, who's more confident on his right foot, playing on the left-hand side. So that's interesting.
We'll keep an eye on that. It's certainly something a bit different from Tuggeranong.
The other player I'm very, very impressed is this Augustine Bangura, the young number 14, who's playing in the 10 position. Very, very talented young player.
Well, the Tuggy support won a free kick there for a niggle at Colacello, but he's not going to get one. And that's a loose pass, and Bangura is after that one, but Chirek comes across to take it off his toes. And just for a moment there, it looked dangerous for Tuggeranong, as Colacello, another experienced player in this Tuggeranong outfit.
Yes, absolutely. Colacello's been around. He played for Cooma Tigers for a number of years and is a very, very solid number 6 type player.
Reagan Walsh getting involved. Back to Denham. 7 minutes gone, still 0-0 in the PS4 MPL Capital Football game between Tuggeranong United and Gungahlin. It's a loose pass, and that's been picked up. Here's a chance perhaps for Tuggeranong with Fernando to find Olarugby, but it's been cleared again by the Gunners' defence. And O'Dwyer's layoff finds Timotheo, and it's his Bangura, and he switches the ball over the top. A chance perhaps, an opportunity, a good little ball into the area. Real opportunity here, and this is scuffed just wide of the goal from O'Dwyer. It's a lovely ball in behind by Nomoski, and O'Dwyer got in there, and credit to Tom Barton, he must have got a toe on it. It's away for a corner.
He did. He's touched it around the post, but very good play there from Mishko Nomoski. The experience coming to the fold there.
A beautifully weighted ball through the back, and O'Dwyer was in for a moment. Looked like it could have been the opening goal of the afternoon, but they have to settle for a corner, which Nomoski will go and take himself. Plenty of bodies forward, as you'd expect from Gungahlin. They send up Jenkins and
watch Green here.
Green for this one.
Watch Green around the back post. Watch Green around
it is
the back
towards
post.
Green.
Okay, just over the bar.
He wins the header comfortably, though. It didn't quite get in the direction he wanted on it, but a warning sign there perhaps for Tuggeranong.
Yeah, Tuggeranong will need to look at that on the set plays with Green ghosting around the back post.
A good delivery as well from Nomoski to pick him out, something they obviously worked on at training, and Jack Green not averse to a headed goal, scored a few in his time.
Absolutely. We had a friendly earlier in the year, and he put 2 past us with his aerials.
Yeah, very much an aerial threat, and something that Tuggeranong have to look out for. On that occasion, not causing too much of an issue. We're just waiting. I think probably a jewellery problem on the far side, is there?
Yeah, I think so.
Nomoski wins that goal kick in towards Reagan Walsh. Back to Nomoski again. Skips in field. Space for Bangura. He finds Timotheo. Gunner's happy to pass the ball around, looking for an opening. As they come forward again, and here's an opportunity. Perhaps a shot comes in, and Barton is down low to save well.
That was Dave Jenkins who's come through.
All the way from the back. Yeah, he's come from the back, exchanged passes, and got the shot away. Didn't have enough sting in it to test Barton. But another warning for Tuggeranong. And Gungahlin settled nicely into this one. Although, as I say that, they give the ball away, and here's a chance.
Marshall Smythe.
It's an opportunity for Smythe in on goal, and it's saved. It's going to come loose for Fernando, though, and his shot is blocked. And that was a chance for Tuggeranong United.
As we expected.
It was Slavic, in fact, who broke in on goal, and the shot was saved by Denham. Came out for Fernando, couldn't get his shot away, and good smothering blocked by the Gungahlin defence. Bangura stands on it, and Roberts gives away a free kick. That's a bit harsh, that one, you think?
Bit soft there, Russ.
Timotheo swings it to the far side towards Kirkledge, who loses out to King. Good battle between the two youngsters. Here's Olarugby. That flick doesn't come off for him, and so chances at both ends.
So this game's opening up now, Russ.
Yeah, good opportunities at both ends. It's his Faust reading that one. Roberts. And Slavic. And Roberts again. Colacello looking for Olarugby. Back to Slavic again. Space in the middle of the park here for Fernando. Now Smythe. Looking for an option. Clips it towards the far post to find Olarugby. It's a good ball too, and Olarugby's brought it down. Half a chance perhaps for Tuggeranong. Gungahlin back in numbers though. And they deal with it. It's going to come to Smythe though. Difficult one for Roberts.
Very tight.
Well, that comes to nothing for Tuggeranong, but another warning across the bows again. Here's Faust. We talked about him before, Nick Faust. He's a very promising, encouraging player, and expecting a lot of him.
Absolutely. Look, I think Nick Faust is growing into the MPL league and the MPL type of football, and look, I expect big things from him in the future.
It's a very young Tuggeranong side when you come to think of it as well, Tony. When you look at it, we'll just talk about it in a second. As Colacello wins that one and finds Fernando. Howell snaps in on him, then Jack Green gets it. And now here's Bangira. Kirklich has some space. Taking on King. Good defending from the Tuggies defender. Gets back and wins the ball off of Kirklich. Just a little bit too much there from Thomas Kirklich, and off comes King, and he's advancing forward, and he's still going. Kirklich snapping back at his heels and does really well to win the ball and give it to Jack Green, and good defending in the end from Kirklich after he tried just a bit, perhaps too much at the other end.
Yeah, from young Matt King. Another good run. So you've got two overlapping fullbacks there, Tuggeranong, that they can build their future on.
Yeah, and another youngster, Marshall Smythe, here up front as well. Talented boy.
Two very young teams. Russ, Gungahlin got a young bunch as well, mixed in with some experience.
Barton sends that one forward, and Jenkins just touches it into path of Green. Huge amount of space for Reagan Walsh in the middle of the park, and he picks the ball down the wing towards Namoski. Faust is across with him and does enough to force him backwards. Here's Reagan Walsh again. Fair to say he's a fiery midfielder, Reagan Walsh. Timothy swings that one wide. Kirklich and Daramy, but there's a little bit of a misunderstanding there. Reagan Walsh, yeah, he doesn't mind getting involved, does he? But when he gets his mind on it, he's a great footballer.
Yeah, he's a very, very solid player, very experienced player, and the combination he has in that holding mid with Dave Jenkins and Green behind is something that Gungahlin would need today.
Well, they've started pretty well so far, both sides testing each other out without really threatening a goal. A couple of long-range efforts from both sides and decent saves, but nothing to really set the pulses racing too much at the moment.
I think the team that scores first will need to.
Well, Faust.
That was a free kick. The team that scores first, right, will have obviously the advantage here, because I can't see with the set of defenders that we got on both sides. I think this one's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, some uncharacteristic mistakes from both players.
Yeah.
Teams in possession at the moment as well. Here's Colacello and Gaia, and now Churek. Looking for movement in front of him. There's not much of it, but he's looking for Slavic down the wing, and Slavic is going to get that via the head of Daramy. He swings it into the air, looking for Ola Rigby, but it's well read by Green.
Jack Green again.
And here's Walsh. And now Misko Namoski. Goes past Smythe. Here's Howe. And back to Walsh. Happy to keep possession. And move Tuggeranong around the park.
Yeah, Gungahlin opening up the game now a bit. They're stretching Tuggeranong.
We've had 50 minutes of this match so far. No goals. A couple of chances at both ends.
We've come close.
Promising that we could get some before the end of the afternoon. Walsh.
As you said earlier, it was 1-0 at Gungahlin earlier in the year, and this one's looking to be a tight one as well.
Well, Green lost out there, and here's a bit of space for Ola Rigby if he can get there ahead of Walsh, but Walsh has come across and nodded it away from Alex Ola Rigby. And Tuggeranong will have a throw in right in front of us, in front of the main stand here at Canbar 2. Here's Ola Rigby. Fernando. Just loses out on that occasion, and Bangira comes to steal it off him. And nice little interchange of passes, but Colacello's read that one, and he's got Slavic on the overlap. And not Daramy's back there and very strong in the tackle and bundles Slavic off the ball, and Gungahlin could bring it clear, and well played Osman Daramy, very talented fullback. But they've given it away again to Colacello. Now here's Ola Rigby. No foul, says Bruno Kell. Looking for a nudge in the back there.
He's still down.
He stayed down.
Yep.
Could have gone either way, that one, you'd think.
Yes.
Roberts loses out, and here's a chance
counter-attack now
for Timothy to Kirklich. Goes square to O'Dwyer. Now Bangira. On the overlap is Howe, but his pass takes a deflection, and Faust is going to get there first, but can't clear it. And in the end, it's left to Marco Gaia to hoik it up into the sky and out for a throw-in, and Alex Ola Rigby getting up very gingerly. Still claiming the foul. Your opinion on that one, Tony?
Look, I think it was a 50-50 there. It could have gone either way. I've got my eye on Fernando. He's not moving very freely.
That's not the impact he quite would like at the moment, I don't think. You see, when he gets his foot on the ball, he's a decent footballer.
No, he's walking gingerly.
Here's Howe, looking for the crossfield ball, and it's a good one too to Kuklic, who brings it under his spell. Here's Timotheo. Dwyer. But they can't keep hold of it now. Here's Fernando. Can he find a ball over the top towards Ola Rigby, who's chasing it? And across comes Green to deal with it, but he's only found Marshall Smythe. But Green uses experience to win the ball again. It's broken for Faust, who swings it towards Slavic.
What a lovely ball.
On the far-hand side. Here's Fernando. Rides the first challenge and wins the free kick. And bright signs for both sides when they go forward, but some sloppiness in possession.
There is. It's that last ball into that front third that's missing, isn't it, Russ?
We had this last week with the Canberra Olympic game. There was some great lead-up play, but that final ball, that final cross just wasn't there. And at the moment, it's been pretty similar.
I think the team that gets that right, obviously, will be the one to score first.
Well, referee's having a word with Fernando, and Dom Colicello's over there, I think, having to translate. Probably, I think he had a chain around his neck that he needed to take off.
This is the sort of stuff that you sort out before the game, isn't it, Russ?
You'd think so. Not these days, Tony. Back in the day, you wouldn't wear any. You could wear whatever you like on the field back in the day when we played.
We couldn't afford it.
No jewellery for us. Except for the wedding rings, and that's about it. Free kick to Tuggeranong in a dangerous position. Chance for them perhaps to drop the ball in.
Look for Marco Guy on the far post here.
Well, will there be a shot here from Fernando? No, he's gone short to Roberts, who we know can hit it, and he does strike it. It's taken a slight deflection, and it's crept wide of goal. Denham seemed to have that covered most of the way. They didn't look worried. He wasn't scrambling at all. Interesting, though. We thought that Fernando might hit that one, but he's rod it to Roberts, and we know that Roberts can strike a ball, and he didn't quite catch that one as well as he would have liked.
He did have that first shot on the game, which tested Denham.
He certainly tested Angelo Constantino in the cup final a couple of weeks ago. Full-length save for the Olympic keeper. Faust takes the corner short, and we'll get it back. Goes towards the near post, and it flashes across the goal, and luckily there was a foot there from Jenkins, I believe it may have been, just to get rid of it. And it's back to halfway. And I think both sides will be a bit disappointed with their delivery at present. As we said, it's quite a warm afternoon with that sun beating down on us in the stand here, Tony. It's no wind to speak of at all.
No.
Great conditions for football.
It's a lot warmer than it was at 1 o'clock this morning when we arrived back from Riverina, yes.
Yeah, pretty cold morning in Canberra the last couple of days. It's a chance for Gungahlin, though, to attack, and here's Nomoski in behind. Barton's going to have to come and get this. It's going to be a 50-50, and Barton does well, stretches his big frame to get a toe on the ball and concede the throw-in. But again, that was that raking ball from Regan Walsh, and they're giving him plenty of room in midfield to do that.
If there's one player that can switch a ball from the length of the field, that's Regan Walsh.
And here's Howe taking on Faust, but Faust does well and wins the throw. Would you be concerned if you were Sean Murphy, the amount of room that they're leaving Walsh in the centre of the park?
Yes, Gungahlin are stretching Tuggeranong quite well here. They're making this small field larger, and that's going to be a problem for Tuggeranong if they don't watch it.
There's no press, so to speak, when Gungahlin get it in the centre of the park. Tuggy seem to be pretty happy to let them have it there. Here's Howe. Challenges from Colicello, and he's going to win the throw off the young fullback, which Nick Faust will come across to take. Here's Fernando. Nice touch to find Roberts. Looking for it back, but Regan Walsh is back there to tackle. And Howe's there, but he's been robbed by Fernando. Nice little ball into the air to Roberts. Great opportunity this for Tuggeranong. Shot comes in from Smythe, deflected off the back of Jenkins and wide for a corner. But great move from Tuggies, and you can see Fernando having an impact on the game, and Roberts as well, buzzing in and around that area.
Yeah. Fernando showing what he's got, and that's the delivery that Tuggeranong will need.
And Smythe getting a decent shot away. May have tried a left foot one from there, you'd think, but tried to curl it with his right foot, and it got a deflection. Here's Ola Rigby. Deep ball into the air, but there's no Tuggeranong player on the back post, and Green could nod it away to himself. No pressure coming at all at the moment, but he's giving it away to Faust. If he switches this one, there could be a chance, but he's overhit it, and Bangura, as Daramy Brothers, won it. Dwyer's giving it away, though, and here's Fernando. Can he pick a pass this time? Smythe gives it back to him. And now he's Faust on the overlap, and opportunity for Tuggeranong to perhaps cross the ball. Faust towards a near post, and Green is there again to hook it away. But danger signs for Gungahlin. Tuggeranong seem to be getting into their groove a little bit.
They're starting to encroach in that Gungahlin defensive third, and but I think they're reasonably comfortable. Jenkins and Green back there.
They're not threatened too much at the moment. His guy swings that one into the air, and here's a chance for Smythe, but it's not been connected with. Great opportunity for the youngster there. He's kind of swung a boot at it rather than with any conviction, was there? If he'd maybe gone with a head, he may have had a chance to get something on target.
Yeah, I think he should have gone with the head there.
It's a good opportunity though, and a good ball from Marco Guy just to loft it into the penalty area.
Sweet left foot that I was talking about earlier.
And that I think is a let-off for Gungahlin in my book. Here's Denham.
It sure is.
There's Walsh with that acres of space we were talking about earlier. And Jenkins, like you said, spreading the field. Comfortable in possession, these three, Jenkins, Green and Walsh, and happy to let the ball do the work. And Tuggeranong no press at all, Tony.
They're happy just to sit in that middle part of their half and wait for Gungahlin to come forward.
Which they've done on that occasion, and they've won a throw. 23 minutes gone live on Bar TV Sports, PS4 MPL from Canberra. It's Tuggeranong United 0, Gungahlin United 0. A couple of shots from both teams, chances at both ends. Half chances, you'd probably say. Nothing clear-cut just yet, though. Here's Bangura. And here's Kirklich, I think that is, running in towards the area, and a chance for Walsh on the edge of the box, but his touch lets him down. It's going to be picked up here by Jenkins, and via Timotheo it's back to Jack Green. And Gungahlin will come again. Kirklich. Ball clipped forward and Faust wins it and heads it well done back to Button. Good defending by the youngster. And Tuggy's not messing around, looking to get Smythe away. Swapped wings with Andrew Slavic, Marshall Smythe here.
Yeah, I think they need to change things up a little bit. That's another one of those switching balls from Walsh. Yes, Slavic and Smythe have been doing that the last few weeks, switching sides, and what that does, it keeps defences guessing.
Yeah, and Slavic maybe a bit more experienced than Marshall Smythe. Maybe he can get something out of this young fullback Howe here, who's done well considering he's like you say had an hour in the under-20s. He's looked very solid.
I'll be interested to see how he finishes the game, because this ground is hard, and to play more than 90 minutes on this very hard surface is going to be a challenge for him.
Well, here's Namoski, and he's looking to get it back from O'Dwyer, but he's not going to. Here's Timotheo, nice skills from Timotheo, but he's overdone it a little bit. The ball forward from Green. Namoski goes down a bit belatedly under the challenge from Gaia, and the referee Bruno Kerr lets it go. Looking at the benches today, Tony, Gungahlin have gone with Frano Blazovic, Justin Rankin and Jamie Viencombe alongside goalkeeper Lachlan Doohan. So one of each there, forward midfielder and a defender.
Watch for Frano Blazovic to come on, big Frano, to come on late in the game. With he's a very tall boy, so they'll look to aim for him on set plays. Yeah,
big target there. We'll look at the Tuggies bench in a minute as Kirklich goes down the right wing, looking for a runner in the area. Namoski's in there, and it's a brilliant header from Misko Namoski, and Gungahlin lead. Thomas Kirklich created it with a beautiful ball into the area, and Namoski's got in front of his marker and glanced the header into the corner. No chance for Tom Barton. A beautiful goal from Gungahlin United.
Fantastic run on that right-hand side by young Kirklich. He's got a sweet cross and met very, very well by the experienced Misko Namoski.
Beautiful header as well. No chance for Barton. Didn't even move. He's come across his man and glanced that one into the bottom corner of the net. The first goal of the afternoon, and the smattering of Gungahlin fans that are here really appreciated that one. Much to do for Tuggeranong then. On the back of that, it was disappointing from them defensively, having talked about how good they have been defensively, for Namoski to really get in between. I think there would have been Chirek and Guy there to get on to the end of that one.
Well, we've been saying all game that Tuggeranong have been inviting Gungahlin in to their half of the pitch, and that can be dangerous. If you don't high press these days, you'll get hurt.
And they have been hurt on that occasion. They're 1-0 down. And here's Bangura looking to add to that. Barton, though, is there. in the 27th minute, live on Bar TV Sports. And Gungahlin United leading Tuggeranong by 1-0. Here's Alex Olorugby. Holding the ball up well. Looking to exchange passes with Smythe, but Gungahlin snapping around Marshall Smythe, but he's done well to come away with the ball and win a free kick.
He's a busy player, Marshall.
Yeah, they need a little bit more energy out of him, I think, as well, and from the rest of their forwards too. In a moment, that sun's going to come under that stand, and it's going to be pretty tricky, isn't it, Tony?
I've got a brim hat, mate. A brim cap.
Got mine on as well, and we'll see how we go. Here's Roberts. He's lost possession, and Bangura finds Walsh. And now is Howe, and there's space here. It's 2-on-1 against Faust. Howe finds the goal scorer, Namoski. Walsh again, always an outlet. Walsh sweeps the ball across the field to Timotheo. Now Daramy adds the extra man out on the right-hand side. Kirklich. Timotheo. Here's Bangura. Confidence flowing through Gungahlin after that goal. Here's Green. Bangura, beautiful turn. Looks to slide O'Dwyer in, but couldn't quite get on the end of that one. But a nice move from Gungahlin. They're looking sharp at the moment.
Russ, I've watched Gungahlin play now 5 or 6 games this season, and arguably they're probably one of the best passing teams in the league.
Well, they've got themselves a free kick there, and yeah, all of it seems to be dictated by Walsh at the in the holding midfield role. And he's got some willing runners in front of him in Timotheo and Kirklich and the young boys, and when that all comes together, and you've got to say Tyler's target man in Jason O'Dwyer as well.
Absolutely.
He does all the doggy work up front.
He's a stalwart, isn't he? He's very, very experienced, and if you give him room, he'll hurt you. He'll score goals.
Well, Walsh can hurt you from free kicks, and he's lining this one up, and wouldn't be surprised with that sun coming down whether he strikes it. In fact, it's going to be Namoski who does it with his left foot, but didn't
high and wide, Russ.
Didn't trouble Barton at all, did it? But not a bad choice of shot, though, with that sun shining straight into Tom Barton's eyes, is it, at this stage of the game?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to get a little bit lower for him. One of the things I've been looking at, Russ, is the rotation between Timotheo, Bangura and Walsh. And it's working very, very well. And it's a handful for Tuggeranong.
Roberts tries that long ball over the top towards Olorugby, but that's cut out by Daramy. And Green can find Walsh and Timotheo. This time the pass is a bit short and Roberts wins it. And Fernando can take over for Tuggeranong. He's fouled by Anthony Timotheo. And no more, says Bruno Cal. Probably not Anthony Timotheo. They probably no more challenges on the Chilean. You're thinking he's copped a couple. It's a team warning, I think.
I think it's a team warning, but I think Timotheo has also got his last warning.
So you wouldn't be surprised if there's another foul. The next one will be in the book. Here's Gaia. And Roberts. Back to Chirek. Tuggeranong put themselves under undue pressure here. Let's go back to Barton. And Chirek, and and they've done well there. Yeah. Gungahlin pressing, and Tuggeranong taking the short free kick, put themselves under pressure there for no apparent reason.
Absolutely. I would also switch Turek with Marco Gaia.
We'll have a look at the Tuggeranong bench, which is really young, looking at it, apart from Liam Highmore, who isn't exactly a veteran. You've got Riley Angelo Sante, Adam Saselja, and Aldi Cummins. And Rory Larkin as a substitute goalkeeper. So a lot of youngsters on the Tuggeranong bench too as well.
Very young side, very young side.
Well, Liam Highmore will consider himself unlucky not to be playing this afternoon.
I think he's coming back from injury, isn't he, Russ?
I think he had a run in the final a couple of weeks ago, so whether he picked himself a knock up in that one. Good player, Liam Highmore. Here's Faust. Leaves it for Slavic. And Howe comes across to try and win it and gets the throw.
That goal by Gungahlin has definitely rattled Tuggeranong.
It's deflated them a little bit, and Gungahlin are the ones playing with the confidence at the moment. Here's Walsh. Back to Denham. It's easy to see from up here as well, though, Tony, but you think they've got to get closer to these midfield duo of Timotheo and Walsh and stop letting them dictate the pace of the game.
They need to, one goal down, they need to high press now, and they need to win that midfield.
It's not that they haven't looked threatening when they've got the ball going forward. All right, the final pass hasn't been there, but they have looked reasonably threatening. Here's Fernando, little touch and chance perhaps for Ola Rigby. Angles narrow, and Ola Rigby gets a shot away, but no power in it to trouble Denham, who gets us going straight away to Howe, who looks like a willing runner out here. Here's Walsh again.
Gets down well, Denham, for a big lad.
He did, yeah. Got down very well there. Masses of experience as well as a goalkeeper.
Very good.
And his brother can play a bit as well as a keeper as well. Can't he? Nathan Denham used to be a fantastic goalkeeper in Canberra.
He had a stint in Wollongong, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. Last I heard, he was still up there. Whether he's still playing or not sure. But great goalkeeper.
Goalkeeping family.
Both very good keepers. Here's Walsh.
Walsh is commanding this midfield.
Absolutely running the show here for Gungahlin. Here's Howe. Looks for a 1-2 with Nomoski, and he's going to get in behind here, but across comes Marco Gaia to concede. Well, he's come and played it off of Howe, in fact, just behind the camera there, and he's got himself a goal kick. But yeah, you're thinking, it's like I said 2 seconds ago, it's easy for us to say up here, but if they don't start getting hold of these midfield duo, it's going to be a long afternoon for Tuggeranong, chasing lots of balls in behind, you'd think. Barton under pressure. Roberts has to come back and win it, and Churek is hounded by Kirkledge as soon as he gets near it.
I would like to see Roberts for Tuggeranong supporting Fernando a bit more.
Yeah, getting a bit further forward. Here's Colacello. And Smythe. And King. It's better from Tuggeranong as Roberts tries to poke it into the path of Ola Rigby, wins the throw. When they get the one-touch passing going, they seem to be more of a threat forwards. Here's Smythe. Daramy has got him tidied up a little bit here, though. Physically looks more than a match for Marshall Smythe on that side, does Osman Daramy.
Very good right fullback. Well, probably one of the better right fullbacks in the league, Russ.
He's certainly coming on leaps and bounds. Had a good couple of seasons down at Tigers, I think it was, before he came here, and they certainly thought very highly of him.
Grounded his teeth at the Tigers.
Here's Jenkins. Back to Denham. Walsh again. This time he can't turn because Colacello stopped that option. 12 minutes to half-time, live on Bar TV Sports, PS4 MPL from Canberra. Gungahlin United leading here at Canberra 2, home of Tuggeranong United by Galton Hill. Here's Ola Rigby looking to change that. Alex Ola Rigby, real opportunity here, and it's a goal from Andrew Slavic, who slides it past Jason Denham. Ola Rigby picked him out. Slavic did the rest. Comfortable finish as well. Denham this time couldn't get down, and the first time Tuggeranong have gone straight down the middle. They carved open Gungahlin, and they have their equaliser.
Russ, I'm going to claim half that goal because Roberts, that was the first time he has supported the front three in the last 15 minutes, and once he did, he's played a 1-2 with Ola Rigby. Ola Rigby's turned and passed that ball beautifully in front of Andrew Slavic, who calmly knocked it past Denham.
The weight was perfect from Ola Rigby. The finish was excellent from Andrew Slavic, and it's 1-1 here at Canberra. The first time as well, noticeably, Tony, that Regan Walsh couldn't turn on the ball. Colacello got in his back. Here's Roberts. As Tuggeranong go looking for a second, here's Fernando with the drive, but it's down for Denham, and the power was taken out of it. Absolutely. And all of a sudden, we've got a bit of a swing in momentum here. We're saying it the first time that Colacello has actually denied him the chance, the opportunity to turn. They go back, cough up the ball, and Tuggeranong equalise. Yep,
Walshy couldn't, Regan couldn't distribute that ball forward, had to go back, and then it was nicked.
On this occasion, Guy's going to have plenty of time to cover up, so 1-1.
And an interesting game.
Certainly anybody's at the moment. There's lots of space for Fernando, brings it down. Here's Slavic, who scored Tuggeranong's equaliser. Roberts in that more advanced role that Tony was talking about. It's asking a lot there for Smythe, though, and he's not going to get anywhere near that one. And it's one apiece.
Something for the spectators to crow about.
Yeah, it's a bit of noise from the Tuggeranong support here. As Denham gets us underway again. And a good header from Matt King, another young prospect as well, Matt King. A lot of high hopes for him at Tuggeranong.
Very good lad. Came through that schoolboy system I was talking about earlier.
Plenty of talent in Canberra, isn't there, Tony, when you think about it, of all these young boys. There's a lot of them with the right coaching in the right direction could go a long way.
Absolutely, and with the introduction of the National Youth League, that's something for them to look forward to.
Absolutely. I'll give another stepping stone for these boys to aspire to A-League places and further afield. Here's Faust. Fernando let that one Slavic let that one run. Obviously got a call behind him, I think. Didn't quite work out for him, but King could try and restart it, but that's well won by Timotheo. Chirek has it for Tuggeranong.
There's that sun, Russ. We expected it.
It's right there. Better than the rain, I guess.
True.
Not going to quibble too much. Here's Ola Rigby. Flag's up. For offside, perhaps. Still the flag is up, so maybe there's a foul.
Ola Rigby's still down.
He's still down, so it was an offside. He'd come back from an offside position. But the referee decides to let this one go, and Tuggeranong have the ball. But they've given it away again, and Daramy finds O'Dwyer. United win it, though. And here's Fernando to Ola Rigby. Tries to turn, but it succeeds only in kicking the ball up into himself and concedes the free kick. Well marshalled by David Jenkins. Support here didn't like that one, but that's probably the right call. A little tug on the shirt there.
Look for Kirkledge wide.
He looked for it, didn't find him. Smythe read the intention, but King can't find him. Now here's Kirkledge, who created the first goal. O'Dwyer. Timotheo. Kirkledge again. Very patient build-up from Gungahlin. No rush for them to get the ball forward, looking for the openings. It's Green. Bangura. Now Daramy. He's given it away, and that's well read by Roberts, and he should get a free kick out of it, but the referee's let it go because Ola Rigby's got it and turning and running into space, and this is what Alex Ola Rigby likes to do. Nobody really up with him, though, so he has to wait for support, and it comes in the shape of Nick Faust. A great ball into the area, and Fernando just tried to pop it into the path of Andrew Slavic, and maybe he could have brought that one down and had to go himself.
There you saw the overlapping qualities of Nick Faust.
It was Dom Colacello who'd ghosted in there, rather, and maybe a more attack-minded player may have had a go for goal themselves there, but Dom Colacello tried to pop it off.
Tried the delicate clip over the keeper.
Didn't quite work, did it?
Jason Denham's a bit wiser than that.
But promising signs for more goals. Here's Walsh. Gets away from Fernando, who doesn't track back, and the ball is won well by Colacello, and here's a chance for Tuggeranong on the break. Walsh concedes a soft foul on Fernando. And Tuggeranong will have a free kick. There's been a lot of free kicks, isn't there? A lot of soft ones as well, Tony. But it's the flow.
Niggly free kicks.
It's not helped the flow too much, but it's not been a bad game. Here's Faust. It does Howe well there, and this might be the first booking of the afternoon, I think.
No,
That's a yellow card for Eli Howe.
That's a foul from a tired player.
Yeah, he's just been done very easy by Nick Faust there, and just pulled him back. And now he's got to be careful for the rest of the afternoon because there's still a long way to go, and he's in the book. And as we've seen for most of the day, Nick Faust isn't scared to take him on, is he?
No, absolutely not.
Well, let's see what Nick Faust can do with this one. He's got 5 green and white hoop shirts to aim for. Has he got the delivery to pick one of them out? Instead, he goes short to Roberts, who clips it into the penalty area, up in towards that sun. The header's in there, but it's not going to drop over the head of Denham, who comfortably claims it. Different free kick again, though, from Tuggeranong. They're not just lumping it into the penalty area. They are worked on these ones, you think?
So, different free kick and creative free kicks. I like it.
Here's Colacello looking to get past Howe. He can't. Here's Bangura. Timotheo. Now Green, pressing this time is from Slavic, and he's won the ball. It's going to break for Ola Rigby. Now here's Fernando. Tries his luck from the range. It's deflected. It's going to drop to Slavic in the area across the goal. Ola Rigby's in, and it must be a second, and it is. Alex Ola Rigby, the easiest of finishes. Perhaps a bit lucky in the build-up for Tuggeranong, but the execution in the end was just what they wanted. Andrew Slavic fires it across goal, and Alex Ola Rigby bagged his 99th Premier League goal in Canberra, and Tuggeranong lead just before half-time.
His debut goal for Tuggeranong, and that's what he does best. He's a poacher. He's a goal poacher in the box when he's not running on goal.
They may have got a bit lucky in the build-up there with Fernando's shot deflecting straight into the path of Slavic, but great play from Andrew Slavic to have the vision and the awareness that Olorigbe was just lurking around that 6-yard box looking for the tap-in.
That was a very, very good delivery from Andrew Slavic. He's having a while of the game, Andrew, ever since he come over here to the right-hand side.
Yeah, if that was a switch made by Murphy or the players themselves saw that one, either way, it's worked out well for Tuggeranong, who swung this one on its head. 1-0 down and looking not really in the game very much. They've swung it to a 2-1 in their favour. Goals from Andrew Slavic and Alex Olorigbe. As Tony said, a debut goal for Alex Olorigbe. But what have Gungahlin got in response? Chance perhaps for them. Chirek clears under danger and away it goes from Colacello, looking for Smythe, who's now got a lot of room in which to operate, and he's found Olorigbe, who's now got his gander up and he's trying to get away from Jenkins, who defends him brilliantly and comes inside, and that's some good defending. Now he finds Green. Bangura lets it run. Now finds Howe. Bangura continues to run outside of Howe. He'll take on Gaia down in the bottom corner there. Here's Howe. Nowhere to go for the fullback. Faust's come across, and two Tuggeranong players in there, and they win the throw off of Eli Howe. In fact, the referee has signalled it the other way, so it'll be a Gungahlin ball.
Very interesting decision, that one.
Couldn't really see it behind our cameraman, who's perched on top of a van today. Not the best media conditions here at Canberra too, but it's all part of the charm of the ground, I guess.
We have to work with, Russ.
And we're enjoying a good game with 3 goals so far, and the promise of a lot more to come.
Just watch Tuggeranong to exploit the tired Howe for the rest of this half.
And he's on a card as well. 2 minutes to go till half-time. Tuggeranong lead Gungahlin 2-1. There's a foul by Misko Namoski.
Unintentional.
Yeah, just one of those ones. Crowd screaming for a yellow card, but not for me, that one. Just one of those challenges that you get sometimes.
Something I don't like in football, crowds and players asking referees for yellow cards for the opponents. Pet hate.
It's a pet hate for quite a lot of people, I think. Tony, you're not alone in that one. Here's Green. Olorigbe puts him under pressure and wins it. Here's Fernando. Inadvertently, I guess, involved in the creation of that goal for Olorigbe when his shot was deflected.
It is, but he's not moving the best, Fernando. I've kept my eye on him throughout the game, and he's still very ginger.
He doesn't look the greatest, does he, in terms of his fitness at the moment? I think, like you say, it's that back injury that's causing him the problems, but he's certainly getting involved when he's got the ball. Doing enough to keep Gungahlin occupied. Walsh, lovely touch to create space for himself. Here's Namoski. Now Timotheo. Jenkins. Kirkledge. Jenkins again. Coming up to half-time. Shouldn't be too much of time added on, you wouldn't have thought, at the end of this first one. About 30 seconds to go to the interval. Here's Bangura.
You might put a minute on. They usually do.
Nice turn from Bangura, looking for Namoski, and Faust has to read this one. Can only send it into the air, which Howe wins above Slavic and finds Namoski. Chance perhaps for Gungahlin at the end. Namoski from range looked for Barton off his line. He's certainly got the ability to execute that kind of finish, hasn't he? But on that occasion was leaning backwards and always going over the crossbar.
Namoski has scored many a goal from outside that box. He's tried it on that occasion because I think he's seen the sun in Barton's eyes, and he thought, look, we haven't got much time left in this half. Let's have a go.
Yeah, may as well have a pop as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. That was Fernando in possession. King wins a free kick. Another one of those niggly soft ones that we've been talking about. It's funny, isn't it? Because there's been a lot of them, and you think that it'd disrupt the flow, but it hasn't really stopped it being quite an absorbing match so far.
Absolutely. Both teams going at it. Very important game for both teams, this one.
So King, who sends that one into the penalty, that's all the way through to Denham. Coming up to the end of a minute of time added on. Here's Howe. Last chance perhaps for Gungahlin. They're going to get a free kick. Faust brings down Namoski, used all his experience to win that one. Here's Walsh.
Kirkledge open on the far side.
chose not to go there. Went to Jenkins, and referee Bruno Kell says that will do us at the end of the first half. Minute of time added on. Tony, Gungahlin took the lead and were looking pretty good for a while, and then 2 quick goals from Tuggeranong when they've become more direct in the second half and in the second half of the first half, and they lead.
It's just remarkable the confidence that a goal gives. Gungahlin scored the goal, then they had a period of domination for about 10 or 15 minutes. A mistake in the on the halfway line from Gungahlin gave Tuggeranong the sniff. They scored that equaliser through Andrew Slavic, and then they grew. They grew as the half went on.
The change of formation, bringing Slavic to this near side and Smythe to the far side, certainly paid dividends for them as well.
Absolutely. Andrew Slavic, with his pace and his guile, taking on young Hal, I think that's worked.
We'll see what happens in the second half. It's half-time here at Canberra 2 in PS4 MPL Canberra. Gungahlin took the lead with a glancing header from Mishko Naumoski, but Tuggeranong were level 10 minutes before half-time when Andrew Slavic got on the end of a perfectly weighted through ball from Alex Olorigby to slide the equaliser past Jason Denham. And then only 6 minutes after that, Olorigby, on his debut for the club, got in on the act himself. Slavic returning the favour, rolling the ball across the goal for Olorigby to slide in at the far post at half-time here at Canberra 2. It's Gungahlin 1, Tuggeranong 2.
well, they're still going to be in there for another 5 minutes. Where are they going? We're just walking to my car. He's actually tasted right.
Well, welcome back to Canbar 2 for the second half of this PS4 MPL match between Tuggeranong United and Gungahlin United. At half-time, Tuggeranong leading 2-1, Tony, and the sun right in our faces at the start of the second half, and it's going to make conditions pretty tricky, I guess, specifically for Jason Denham, who is putting a cap on as we speak in the goal there. And Tuggeranong, you might see trying some shots from distance in this half because it's really, really hard for him.
That's what, yes, Russ, that's what Gungahlin did to Mr. Barton in goals for Tuggeranong late in that second half, and they had a few long-range shots. So it's going to be a test for Mr. Denham.
Well, he'll start in goal in the second half. No changes, it doesn't look like, to the Gungahlin team, which means they'll line up with the back four: Rosamond Daramy, Jack Green, David Jenkins and Eli Howe. A holding midfield pair of Regan Walsh and Anthony Timotheo, with Augustine Bangura just in front of them. Thomas Kirklicks, Jason Adoir and Misko Namoski, who scored their goal up front. Tuggeranong United just taking the field now, looking around to see if they've made any changes. Fernando, who was injured very gingerly in the first half, running around with his back, he's still out there. And it looks like it's pretty much as we were for Tuggeranong as well, which means Tom Barton will start in goal. Back four of Nick Faust, Mark Agar, John Achurek and Matt King, Dom Golicello and Daniel Roberts, the midfield two. Marshall Smythe, Fernando and Andrew Slavic in midfield 3/forwards, and Alex Ollerigby as the one man on his own up front. So no change from either side. Does that surprise you at all at the moment, Tony?
The only surprise for me is that Eli Howe is still out there. Just watch Tuggeranong to try to exploit his tiredness.
Yeah, he was booked in the first half for a challenge on Nick Faust that led to a free kick, which indirectly, I guess, led to the goal that Tuggeranong scored to give them the lead. A couple of latest scores from around the grounds. At O'Connor, Canberra Olympic lead Cooma Tigers by 1-0. Joshua Galewski with the goal there. And at Deakin Stadium, it's Canberra FC 1, Belconnen United 0. Nico Kalfas on debut for Canberra FC scoring for them as well. And well, that's a nasty challenge. The first one of the second half. That was Jenkins through the back of Roberts. And this is going to be a card for Jenkins as well. And you can't really argue with that one, can he?
No, he went straight through the player there. Nick Kalfas, former Tuggeranong player, another debutant scoring for another club.
Yeah, always had goals in him. Got a hat-trick against Cooma for Tuggeranong only a couple of weeks ago. And I know Tuggeranong were pretty disappointed to lose him as well. So a very talented player, but you know, in a town as small as Canberra, you see these movements quite a lot, isn't it? It's not very difficult for a player to up and leave. Whereas, I guess in Sydney, it's, you know, your training might be an hour and a half or hour away.
No.
Here, it's 5 minutes up the road for whichever club it might be.
Exactly, and there's another move, wasn't there? There was TJ.
Yeah, Thomas James. Yeah,
from Canberra FC over to Cooma Tigers.
Yeah, and he scores goals as well. So, you know, so you recognise goal scorers around Canberra, swapping clubs, and the goal scorers always at a premium, aren't they? They're always being tracked by other clubs. And as Roberts gets to his feet, and referee just having a word with the trainers as he comes off there. No need for Roberts to leave the field of play, of course, because under the new rules, the yellow card negates that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, got strikers always at a premium, and you've got a couple of good little ones at Woden Western as well.
Yeah, Danny Krukowski's on the score sheet often, and young Ole Kinkazi. He's a dynamic player. We're glad to have those two fit and firing.
A very pacey pairing as well. Seems to be the way these days. A couple of real pacey strikers. Ball in behind the back, looking for O'Dwyer, and he's going to get in onto this one with the right foot, but he's going to have to do well to get a shot away. Instead, he's pulled that back towards Roberts, and covering back. Yeah, covering back was King to concede the corner.
Need a bit more weight on that cutback.
But some good pace from O'Dwyer to get in behind the back of that Tuggeranong defence early in the second half.
Absolutely.
Expecting a response from Gungahlin. Do you think Marcel Munoz would have had a word at half-time about how they maybe let the game slip a little bit?
He would have fired them up. Absolutely, he would have fired them up. Watch for Green here on the far post.
If I can see him through the sun haze, we'll try and see what happens as the ball goes in from Misko Namoski. It's going to break on the edge of the air to Walsh, who just slashes a right-foot shot, and that's on the Tuggeranong Parkway in someone's car.
It's on the back of a ute heading to Belconnen.
Yeah,
Russ.
if you see our ball, can you bring it back?
Yep.
I think it's stuck in a tree or something. But someone's going to have to go and fetch that one. Luckily, we'll carry on. It's not us.
Peter Reid, he usually picks up the balls around here in this place.
Peter Reid's been picking up the footballs at Tuggeranong for about 50 years, hasn't he? Been a long, long time. Very much a Tuggy stalwart, Peter Reid, the team manager down here. Always out here pulling the nets up and filling out the team sheets and whatever else team managers do. Free kick. There's a push in the back, and Roberts is going to take it. Looking for Ollerigby, and if he goes early here, he could get him in behind, but the execution's not as good as Ollerigby would have hoped, but he's done well to win it. And here's Smythe, looking for the run of Fernando in the area, but across comes Green to take it off his toes and tries to send it up the line. He'll win a throw. Good defending by Jack Green again.
That was a nice ball from Smythe into Fernando. I'm surprised he didn't do more with that.
He put it in nicely, did young Marshall Smythe. He's looked very settled at this level, hasn't he? He's not looked out of place at all.
He's been given the chance and he's taken it with both hands.
A lot of young players around Canberra doing that at this day and age. Here's Smythe again. This time Kirklich is trying to hold him off, and it's going to come for Green, who just sends that one out onto the top of the stands, in which we're commentating.
That shadow's coming across the pitch there, Russ.
Yeah, and if that ball comes a bit lower, Josh, the cameraman, might be in a bit of trouble on the top of this van. It's a long tumble off parked his van in between the stands to film from the top of as the ball goes towards the back post. Ollerigby knocks it down, shooting chance for Faust, who drives it low, and a great save from Denham down to his left-hand side to palm that one around the post, and Faust really caught hold of that one, didn't he?
Nick Faust had an opportunity against us a few weeks back, and he actually took it, went top corner. That came very close as well.
He certainly got hold of that one, and credit to Jason Denham for getting down low to push it around the post for a corner, and Ola Rigby, who set that up with a little nod back, is going to take this corner. Swings it in towards the near post. It's glanced away, not once but twice, and it falls for Faust on the left foot, and this time his connection isn't quite as good.
That's another one in the trees there, Russ.
Yeah, not afraid to have a go, though. Good to see the confidence in the young lad to swing a boot at it from that range.
I like to see players take responsibilities in shooting.
Don't see a lot of it these days, do you? A lot of times you see it in the Premier League as well. Teams, the EPL teams like trying to knock in the ball and less shooting. More
fear of failure, that is. Fear of failure.
That's why I guess you get the greats like Luis Suarez, always scores lots of good goals because he's not afraid to have a pop, is he?
No, absolutely.
Here's Alex Olarigby. I'm sure he wouldn't be shy to have a go either. Nomoski helps it on its way towards O'Dwyer, who's under pressure from Chirek, who concedes a free kick. A needless one from Jono Chirek there, leaning into O'Dwyer as he was jumping.
I'm really impressed with Alex Olarigby. He's not mucking around. He's getting used to his new club, his new teammates, and he's done well here today.
He seems to have settled in the environment quite well. Here's a change. First one of the afternoon. Young Eli Howe has come off, and this is Frano Blažević who's come on. So this is going to be an interesting reshuffle.
I think Frano will play on the right, number 7, and Kirklich will go to number 5 at left back.
We'll see what happens from this free kick. Blažević has gone to the far post. He's a big target as well, and the header comes in from O'Dwyer, and it's just wide of goal. But yeah, Frano Blažević, he's not small.
No, watch him on set plays.
He's a genuine target and another threat. And Eli Howe did well for the 51 minutes or so that he was on the park for the young lad, especially coming off the back of an hour in the 20s as well.
And the 110 minutes for the day. Well done, Eli.
Yeah, did very well. A lot of promise there. Here's Jenkins. Now Daramy. Smythe gets a foot in. Good defending from the front. That's what you'd like to see as a defender. Here's Bangura. And that's come off of Daramy. That'll be a Tuggeranong throw. Here's Roberts. Good challenge, and the first chance for Blažević to Bangura. Now Walsh and Timotheu. Promising build up this as O'Dwyer clips it into the area, and it's headed away only as far as Bangura. But snapping into him was Colacello, and he gets rid of it. But it'll come straight back.
Russ, the next goal scorer in this game is going to be very, very interesting. I would see that if Tuggeranong score, they'll run away with it. If Gungahlin score, they will grow into the game and possibly nick it.
This sets a positive change from Munoz as well to bring on Blažević, who's a more attack-minded player.
Absolutely.
Here's Walsh playing on as Timotheo gets out of it, looking for Blažević, who's got behind his man. Can he bring it under control and get something going? Here's Daramy. Here's Timotheo. Back to Jenkins. You can see him shielding his eyes there, trying to see the options forward. Very difficult, as we mentioned, with that sun beaming down across the field. And Jason Denham's not helped him at all there. I think Jenkins turned his back on it for a second, and it's out of play, and Tuggeranong will have the ball.
There's also a slight change of formation for Tuggeranong. They've moved Slavic in at number 10. They've pushed Fernando at 9 and Olarigby out at number 7, right wing.
We'll see how that goes for Tuggeranong, who lead here live on Bar TV Sports. It's Tuggeranong United 2, Gungahlin United 1 in this PS4 MPL Canberra match at Canberra 2, home of Tuggeranong United. Gungahlin looking for a way back into the match. They did have the lead, remember, after 26 minutes when Miško Namoski scored the opening goal of the afternoon, but since then, goals from Andrew Slavic and Alex Olarigby have turned this one round.
We're dealing with an eclipse here, Russ. The sun is beaming.
You're probably getting it on the video. You can see it as well. I can see it on the stream. It's very difficult for everybody involved. Not so much when the ball goes to the left, so maybe there'll be more action down that end of the field. Here's Fernando looking to make that happen.
So we're hoping for our sake there's a Tuggeranong domination.
A bit of attacking at this end so that everyone can see exactly what's going on. Here's Roberts. Those of a Gungahlin persuasion, of course, would think otherwise. Roberts still has it. And he tries to get it for a third time, but here comes Bangura. Colacello does well, though, and just a little tug back on Augustine Bangura. Gives away the free kick, another one of those soft ones that we littered the first half. Timotheo takes it short. Now here's Green. Now Walsh. He gives it away, and Chirek tries to deal with it, but has to wait to the second attempt, and it's just punted forward. Noticeably, and it's early stages as well, Tony, but noticeably less room for Reagan Walsh in the middle of the park. See, Roberts is very tight to him in that picture you just saw there.
I think Sean Murphy, the coach of Tuggeranong, has asked his team to press higher and close that midfield, which is, yes, as you're right, less room for Regan Walsh and Timotheo and Bangura.
Well, here's Ola Rigby looking to get on the back of this, and Ola Rigby's in on goal. Chance for Alex Ola Rigby. Denham saves down low.
Fantastic
again.
Save.
Great stop, and
Save.
Jack Green wasn't too impressed there because they were coming together with him, and I think it was maybe it was Smythe, was it? That was going forward there. I'm not sure. It wasn't. Yeah. It was Marco Guy, was it, limping back?
Yeah,
looking to exchange passes. Yeah,
he's dropped the knock.
There was a coming together between Green and Geyer, and that allowed Ola Rigby to get through in on goal and get the shot away, which Denham saved. And you can see where Jack Green wasn't impressed. He thought he was fouled.
He wasn't impressed. He may have taken a knock himself. And he's arguing with the referee now.
He's arguing the point that he would have been the one that would have trapped back on Alex Ola Rigby in that situation if he hadn't have been collided with Geyer. Whether that was intentional or not, you know, we couldn't really see the initial incident. But
Jack Green needs to be careful here. He's just come back from suspension, so I'd be cautious here.
Yeah, I think just asking the question in a polite manner from Mr. Bruno Kell, the referee.
Well, let's hope it was polite, right, Russ?
Well, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because the referee didn't pull out any cards. So that one's launched forwards, and Green wins that one in the air. It's going to fall for Smythe, who lays it back for Roberts. It's deflected, but it's going to bobble through harmlessly.
If Gungahlin are to get back into this game, Russ, they really need to get that domination back of the midfield with Regan and Timotheo.
Which they haven't had at the start of the second half, which is about 15 minutes or 14 minutes old. You're listening to, or watching rather, Bar TV Sports, with myself, Russ Gibbs, commentating with Woden Western FC head coach Tony Oliveira, enjoying ourselves at Canbar 2. I'm watching Tuggeranong lead Gungahlin 2-1. There's Ola Rigby taking on Green. That's been a good battle all afternoon. And even though Ola Rigby's on the score sheet, you think Honor's pretty much even in that battle?
Yes, I think it's a wonderful battle to watch for the spectators. A fantastic speedster in Ola Rigby with a very experienced centre-back in Jack Green.
Yeah, Green certainly knows how to handle Alex Ola Rigby. But huge amount of space for Ola Rigby this time, and Green goes across. He's going to get there as well. He's read that and does well to bring it away. Nomoski to Timotheo. Noticeably, again, Roberts straight on his touch. But he works well to get himself some space, and it's out of play there for a Tuggeranong throw. And they're not having quite the control of the ball they had in the opening 45 minutes, Gungahlin.
That's because, Russ, Tuggeranong have learnt from the first half, and they're high pressing now and not giving Gungahlin that room. Fantastic coaching from Sean Murphy.
Slavic was looking to get that ball into the area, but it's come back off of the winger and it's out for a throw-in. And Murphy's definitely recognised the threat and done something to nullify it, and at the moment it's working for Tuggeranong. It's Faust into the area and the chip towards the far post. No one coming in on that one, so Daramy will have a long time to get the ball under control and look for a ball forward towards Blazovic.
Jack Green down, Russ.
Down on the far post. That's not good for Gungahlin. We'll surely have a look at that in a moment. Here's Daramy. We'll keep an eye on that in backfield. Smythe does well. Doesn't want to give away a cheap free kick here. He does very well.
I think he just took a knock in the sensitive parts there, Russ. He's back on his feet.
Yeah, a bit winded, Jack Green. Hobbling back into position. As King gets in front of Blažević. Bit of a mismatch in size there, isn't there, Tony? But Matthew King does brilliantly there.
Yeah, I think Frano Blažević is a mismatch for any left or right back as far as size is concerned.
Here's Daramy. Roberts comes across. Daramy finds Blažević. Back to the fullback again. 2 Tuggeranong players close down the space, and that means that King is going to have the opportunity to clear, who perhaps luckily gets it back.
Misunderstanding between Blažević and Daramy allowed King to clear there.
And it feels a little bit like it did at the start of the first half, doesn't it? Where both sides are really not settling into it too much. 60 minutes gone. 2-1 to Tuggeranong. Jenkins wins the header. Timotheo helps it on its way. Gaia comes across under pressure from Nomoski and does well to keep possession. But then gives it away to Kirklich. Drifts past a couple of tackles, and here's Timotheo back to Kirklich again. This is perhaps promising for Gungahlin. Here's Walsh. Blažević. Bit of space for Blažević. You can hear the chant, the call of hold him as Daramy tries to put that ball into the penalty area. Colacello read it well. Gets it back from King. Rather scuffs that one, though.
Tuggeranong looking a bit more solid at the back here now.
The ball's over the top. Now here's Walsh. Got in behind that back four. King comes across to make the challenge. Does well. And Chirek brings it away. Now he found Smythe. Chirek continues his run. Chance for Tuggeranong on the counter. Ola Rigby in behind Jenkins, but that pass isn't going to get to him. But Ola Rigby does well to come across and win the throw-in. Yeah, good pressure from Alex Ola Rigby.
It's that delivery in that final third. Something that we saw in that first half. It was lacking.
Well, Tuggeranong looking to extend their lead. Here's Fernando. Been a bit quieter at the start of the second half, the Chilean. Still going there, looking for an option, and that's a good ball into the air, and coming in is Faust on the far post. And he got his right foot to it, but couldn't keep it down, and that was a good opportunity.
Yeah, Fernando doing what we expected of him, creativity.
Yeah, beautifully picked that one out with a pitching wedge to the far post, and Faust came in, and if he had gone with the head, maybe he would have scored with that one, but maybe a bit of an inexperience. He stuck a foot at it and got good contact, but just too much contact, and it's gone over the crossbar.
Ghosting in the far post there, Faust. Very well done, son.
You think in a couple of years' time he'll be putting his head on those things?
I think so.
Chucking himself in there?
I think Nick Faust is one of those players that when we do get a National Youth League, they'll be knocking on his door.
Yeah, he wouldn't be far away for sure. Certainly settled into first-team life at Tuggeranong very, very well indeed. Going to have to do some defensive work here, though, and does it well. Now here's Roberts. And that's a good-looking ball for Slavic to chase, and across comes Green. Kirklich has to go back to Denham.
Trying to work out who's playing number 10 in that 10 role for Tuggeranong. They keep rotating. The front three with Slavic and Fernando, they keep rotating. So
it's very fluid, isn't it?
It is.
It's whoever's closest is dropping into that role, and it's causing problems for Gungahlin at the moment. Here's some room for Misko Nomoski. Here's Blažević. And across comes King to win, to concede the throw-in, which Blažević leaves for Daramy.
At this stage of the second half, I think Tuggeranong have got all the answers of Gungahlin attack.
As that throw-in is harmless and through to Barton. And noticeably, as we said before, Daniel Roberts has come into it a lot in this second half, nullifying the space that Timotheo and Walsh had, having a big influence on the outcome at the moment, as Ola Rigby is beaten to the ball by Green, the continuation of that contest. Here's Roberts. But he's had a lot of ball in the second half, hasn't he, Daniel Roberts? He's been in that more advanced role that you wanted to see him in.
He is dictating the second half like Regan Walsh dictated most of that first half.
And it's making the difference at the moment, as Gungahlin are struggling to get back to parity.
Look at Marshall Smythe here, ghosting in the far post. Just watch for that ball to be distributed to him.
Yeah, he had a good 15 metres on Daramy out here. Here's Green. Gungahlin having to start from back now. Walsh in a pocket of space. Timotheu. Jenkins. Gives it away to Roberts. Now here's Smythe. He'll run at Jenkins here. Smythe might take him on. Still going Marshall Smythe onto the left foot. And he doesn't get enough on it to find Fernando in the middle, but it still caused a little bit of panic. And in the end, Green got rid of it for a throw-in. But again, direct running from Marshall Smythe.
I would have liked him to distribute that ball into Fernando a little bit earlier there. Went a bit
Caught
too
between
far.
two stools, wasn't he? I think he
Yeah.
wanted to try and that right foot curler. We're going to see a change here. It's Dom Colacello that's coming off. And if I could see that far, is that Liam Highmore? He's going to drop into the middle of the park. It certainly is.
Pretty soon we won't be able to. We won't have to contend with this July eclipse.
And that'll go down behind the trees, won't it?
Yeah.
Here's Fernando. Lifts it over the head of Timotheo, still going. Smythe is with him. It's a bit of a battle in the penalty area. Two Tuggeranong players down on the floor, and Timotheo comes away with the ball. But can they give it away to Chirek?
It does look like Liam Highmore from here.
Yeah, it's definitely Highmore.
Yeah.
Where he's going to play will be interesting, whether he slots into that same role that Colacello did as Roberts skips past Daramy. And in the end, Daramy's back there and just clips his heel and gives away the free kick. Dangerous position for Tuggeranong.
Looks like Liam Highmore will be slotting into that number 6 role that Colacello has vacated.
So like-for-like change
Yeah.
by Sean Murphy. And Tuggeranong have a free kick here, and Highmore will wander forward. He's a threat from set pieces. Jono Chirek's on the far post with Slavic as well. We've got Fernando and Smythe over the ball. Fernando's probably the favourite. Well, Rigby looks like he's getting set for a race in the 6-yard box. We're going to get on the end of this one. What can Fernando do? He's overhit that one.
Yeah.
He's disgusted with himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just chipped that one to far post. Bit of a waste for Tuggeranong.
Yeah. The only ones that would have hit it was the local koalas here.
Yeah, it was straight into the trees. Not his best moment, but there's been glimpses, hasn't there?
No,
from
absolutely.
him?
Creative. I think that niggly back is constraining him.
You can tell why he would want to get out there this afternoon and
Absolutely.
and show what he can do in front of the home fans. As Bangura chases after this, Faust goes across. Got to be careful, Nick Faust. Does well on this occasion to hold off Bangura. This is something that we said the other week. I was watching the FFA Qualifying Cup final with Andy Bennell. Sometimes in those situations, young Nick Faust can be a little bit compulsive and throw himself into a challenge he doesn't need to. But on that occasion, showed some great skills.
Some maturity beyond his age. There's been an adjustment in the formation too for Gungahlin. Mishko has put himself into that number 10 role with Bangura out at number 11 role at left wing.
Trying to perhaps utilise his pace, which he has. And there's a free kick and a foul by Highmore.
Okay, watch for Jack Green to go ghost in on the far post here.
He's wandering himself up into the centre of the field with Jason Dwyer in front of Blazovic, is unmarked completely on the far post at the moment. He can get a real run up to this one if he can. It's all in the delivery.
Plenty of height for Gungahlin.
Yeah, Tuggeranong need to be aware here. And Regan Walsh, I'm not going to big him up too much. I'll give him the curse of commentator, but usually his delivery is spot on. So let's see what he can do here. Melee of bodies that he'll probably drop it in on if he can. There's pulling all over Jack Green on the far post. He's come to Blazovic, whose header is harmless in the end, but Green was being tussled to the ground there by Jono Chirek, and he's having the words with the referee as he goes back. Dangerous game that Tuggeranong were playing defensively in that scenario, Tony.
Absolutely, they've got to be wary of these set plays and not give free kicks in difficult areas there, in critical areas of the pitch, because they're going to get hurt if Blazovic and Green get on the end of one of them.
Here's Roberts. Gives it away. Here's Green. Playing in a slightly more advanced role, it looks like Jack Green. He drops back into that central defensive position. Here's Timotheo, looking for Blazovic. Touch lets him down somewhat. That's up towards Fernando, who tries to bring it down in rather unorthodox fashion, but manages to do so.
But Jack Green cleans up
on him again. And here he goes. Here's Blazovic, looking to take on King. King standing his ground well. Back to Daramy. Walsh screaming for it square and gets it. and helps it on its way to Kirklich. Now Bangura. Walsh. Highmore was in tight on him there and concedes the throw.
Gungahlin playing very predictably going forward, and Tuggeranong seem to have all the answers.
And they've certainly tightened up in that midfield at the start of the second half. Here's Kirklich, one of the players you'd think might be able to unlock this Tuggeranong defence.
Yeah, he's definitely got pace, and he's got a sweet cross.
Here's Daramy. That's a slack pass from Timotheu, and Daramy catches Matt King a little bit late.
Unnecessary foul there, and that ball was going out. He didn't need to make the foul there.
Yeah. Daramy saying, I believe he was committed to that challenge already, but doesn't excuse the fact it was a foul. And Matty King will line this one up. Just in front of us in the main stand.
John O'Turek, Russ.
Sorry, John O'Turek, yeah. My bad, can't really see him.
Yeah, it's that eclipse, mate. It'll be gone soon.
Here's Daramy. That's a good ball. Now King will have to get back with Blazovic, and when he gets ahead of steam up, he's tough to stop for Anna Blazovic.
Well, he's one stride to Matt King's 3.
But King's done well there, and it's going to be a Tuggeranong throw. Blazovic has taken that one out of play.
And he's not impressed.
He's not. Here's Chirek. To King. Bit of a sloppy one from King to Timotheu. Now O'Dwyer, who's worked tirelessly up front today. Here's Timotheu again. Now O'Dwyer once more. And Timotheu playing their own game here. Now it's Daramy. They've created the overlap. Can he deliver the cross? It's a good one this time.
Very good cross.
But defensively, Highmore was back there to help out. It's going to break for Timotheu, who finds Walsh, nods it into the danger area. O'Dwyer on the turn. You could see what he was trying, but he didn't have the technique to pull that one off on that occasion. And that's an easy one for Tom Barton, but better from Gungahlin.
It is. Now, it seemed to me to be playing a little bit of desperate football. They need to calm down a little bit more and create, and not have these necessarily shots when they can still build and start again.
Well, we've still got 20 minutes to play here as Olorugby nicks that off the toe of Green. Now finds Fernando, lining one up perhaps from distance and drives it towards goal, but that's always fading wide of the target and away.
Now, Woden Western played Queanbeyan City, where Fernando played a few games, and he scored an absolute cracker in that game. We did end up winning 4-1, but he scored a spectacular goal from a similar position.
So he's capable, and we know that. Here's Bangura. Walsh. Roberts tight to him, as he has been for the majority of this second half. Just under 20 minutes to go here, live on Bar TV Sports. Tuggeranong United 2, Gungahlin United 1 in the PS4 MPL Canberra competition. All the goals in the first half. Miska Namoski giving Gungahlin the lead. Then 2 goals in 6 minutes from Andrew Slavic and Alex Olorugby, turning the game on its head. That's up towards O'Dwyer, but that's a good thumping header from Gar, and it's going to fall for Fernando. And Roberts again, who's been dictating the play in this half and almost got it through. It's going to break for Olorugby. Can he get there first? He can. Nods it past the keeper. Can't quite get the shot away. It's come from Marshall Smythe, but Daramy's there in front of him. And that was another chance for Tuggeranong that goes begging. But Highmore, opportunity to perhaps make it count as he drills that one across and it comes off Jenkins for a corner, but Olorugby couldn't get enough on that one as Denham came out.
No, he was going down. He tried to clip it past him. He went down, and the defender got cleared it just in time.
He didn't quite get enough on it when he knocked it past Jason Denham.
Yeah.
But once again, Tuggeranong getting through, aided by Gungahlin on that occasion. Now this is the corner which Olorugby will take. Swings that in and it's headed away. Might fall for Smythe, but O'Dwyer helps the clearance. Here's Gaia to Roberts. Now Gaia again. Good challenge from Osman Daramy. Stops him in his tracks and perhaps could spark something on the counter for Gungahlin. Here's O'Dwyer. Forced to go backwards and the pass is a little bit loose and Faust read that one.
Unnecessary pass there.
Nick Faust gets past the challenge. Here's a chance if he can slide Fernando in here. Opportunity perhaps for Fernando. Can he get the shot away? Goes past Fernando into the area, drives it across goal, and it's eluded everybody and comes out for a throw-in on his far side. It was a
tap
cross shot in the end, and if Olorugby gambled...
It was a tap in there for Olorugby if he'd pushed on a little bit more.
If he'd gambled, whether that was a shot or a cross. Bit of both, I think, from Fernando, but...
It could have been the sealer there, Russ.
Once again... Tuggeranong going close. And you think there's going to be chances like that the more the afternoon goes on as Gungahlin look for that equaliser.
Yeah, things are starting to open up here.
His king loses out to Walsh, but tries to get the ball back and concedes a free kick.
That was it.
And Reagan Walsh certainly milked that one a little bit, but
He did.
yeah, he probably got a slight nudge there from King and was on his way down, but gets a free kick for his team. And that's a bit late from Highmore. That's the second one he's put in since he's come on.
He needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. He's giving away these silly free kicks, and he doesn't need to.
Namoski looking to get on with it, even though we've still got about 14 minutes or so to go. Here's Timotheo. Bangura's peeled away on that left wing, but he can't get past Faust.
Russ, if Gungahlin are going to come into this game and sneak a result, they really need to push Regan Walsh and even Jack Green up further up the field.
You can gamble that they may concede a third, but at this stage, getting back in the game might be more important to them, especially as they're pushing for that top four, aren't they? If they get a result against, especially with Belconnen last we heard losing to Canberra FC. Another result here will put them back in the mix.
Anything can happen with Cooma Tigers as well, and if Tuggeranong win here, they get closer to Gungahlin. So they're desperate for a result here. So losing 2-1 or losing 3-1 is not a big difference.
It certainly isn't.
Now look for the tall men of Gungahlin to get on the end of this Regan Walsh free kick.
Well, it's 1-1 at Canberra FC.
Belconnen equalised.
Belconnen equalised just before half-time, I'm hearing. Dustin Wells scored the goal there for them, another stalwart. Free kick here for Walsh to swing in, headed clear by Fernando doing his defensive duties.
Very good clearance there by Fernando.
So they must have equalised just before half-time, we've been told. Dustin Wells with the goal there. Try and get you some updates if we can get them through before the end of the game. As it is, it's 2-1 here.
And Gungahlin pushing a little bit higher now.
And temperature noticeably dropping as well as the sun goes down behind the trees.
Yep. The eclipse has gone and the temperature's gone down about 10 degrees.
You might be able to see a bit more on the stream now.
Yep.
Here's Smythe. Tries a crossfield ball, but succeeds only in giving it to Timotheo, who tries to dink one over the top to Blazovic.
Bangura down on the far side.
Well, here's a chance. It's in the penalty area. Namoski tried to get hold of it. And Tuggeranong can bring it away with Highmore, and now he's put that one into the path of Slavic, who's definitely got the pace to get there, but Green's read it
bit too long.
Magnificently again.
Well done.
Jack Green has certainly been picture of calm in the Gungahlin defence today. Here's Jenkins. No.
Bangura is still down on the far side, so Gungahlin playing with 10.
Here's Blazovic. And he's run that one out of play as well. And it'll be a throw into Tuggeranong, so maybe a change coming up for Gungahlin United. We mentioned in the first half their substitutes. They've still got Justin Rankin and Jamie Vancombe available to them. The Smythe sends that one forward to Fernando, who skips past a challenge, and off he goes. Running forward, he's got Ola Rigby outside him, and he picks the run of Ola Rigby, who's strayed offside. And for someone of Alex Ola Rigby's experience, that one's unforgivable, really, looking across the line.
That's a shame, because that was promising for Tuggeranong.
And again, we're seeing glimpses of the quality of these front two there. And Smythe doing his part as well. And
absolutely. That I can see that combination of that front three and Fernando growing as the season comes to an end.
Well, I think we're going to see a change. The referee is having a look at it, but we're carrying on. Here's Green.
Bangura not looking 100% on the far side there. He looks to be limping.
Well, here's Gaia. Now Smythe back to Gaia again. And it's going to break for Roberts. He might try his luck from here. Roberts, he does, and it's got just too much on it, and it's over the crossbar and away for a goal kick. And Jason Denham wants to get on with it. We've got about 10 minutes to go here at Canbar 2.
That ball was hit with a bit of bite from Liam Roberts. If he gets one on target, it's going to be hard for Jason Denham to stop it. He's getting closer.
He's had a few today, as Daniel Roberts.
Did I call him James? I'm sorry about that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a coming together
Ooh,
between
that-
Daramy and Highmore, and that was a yellow card coming out here for Osman Daramy, 2 former Tigers teammates. And that's a yellow card, and I don't think it could be any complaints there from Osman Daramy. That one was a little bit agricultural.
No love lost there. Must have been a few of those at Tigers training throughout the years.
So it's a free kick, which Guy's going to take. Highmore got up straight away, and no afters, which was nice to see. And Guy will look. Well, Highmore's drifted into the far post, and no one's gone with him, but he goes towards Fernando, who flicks it over his shoulder, looking towards Smythe. It's come back for Fernando, who brings it down, just looking to perhaps draw a foul or get a crossing opportunity. It's Fernando, and he takes on his man again, and it's Regan Walsh who's back there and does brilliantly well.
His experience was showing there, Regan Walsh, as he just escorted that ball over the sideline.
And Denham will take the goal kick, and Gungahlin want to get a shift on.
Well, it's the day now.
Slavic.
For Gungahlin, they have to create something here now.
Well, here's Green under a bit of pressure, and Walsh finds Kirklich. Namoski wants it, but Kirklich comes back to Walsh. Now Timotheo, who tried to find Namoski, but Tuggeranong are back there defending well. It's going to break for Namoski, though, to O'Dwyer. Now Bangura limping a little bit as he gets the ball, but still puts a good delivery in. It's going to fall to Timotheo, and that's a great challenge coming across there.
It wouldn't come down for him.
It was a brilliant challenge in the end, though, as well, from, I think it was Marco Gaia, was it? Threw himself in front of it.
Absolutely. He was just about to tap that ball in, and Marco Gaia has thrown his body and conceded a corner, but he's saved the goal.
Put himself on the line there. Is it going to be for nothing, though? Let's see what happens with this corner as Namoski swings that in, and Green came charging in for it. It's broken on the edge there for Walsh. And he's lost out to Fernando, and Olorigby straight offside. If he can stay on side here, there's a chance for Alex Olorigby. Slided that one in behind the back.
Look at Marshall on the far post here.
Well, Kirklich has come back with him. Smythe is completely unmarked in the box. If Slavic can pick him out, he's looked that way. But Jenkins has prodded it clear. Here's King looking to bring it down, but the ball is bouncing around. King's still going, though. Still going, Matt King. What a run this is. He's still going, and that's a good challenge, but it's going to fall for Smythe. He'll hit it. It's broken in the air. Fernando's there. Can he bring it down? He can't. And Bangura was back defending to get rid of it, and Gungahlin breathe again. Just wouldn't come down, would it?
No, a couple of chances there for the younger brigade of Tuggeranong in Smythe and Matt King. Great run from Matt King into the box.
And when it came back, Smythe rather snatched at it a little bit. Didn't quite get a contact that he would have liked. Here's a substitution for Gungahlin United. It's Jamie Vancombe who's coming on for Augustine Bangura, who put in a good shift.
He did. He's taken a knock, and it's unfortunate for Gungahlin that he's had to come off because he's one of the threats for Gungahlin. So it's a chance here for Vancombe to make himself a hero and get something out of this game for Gungahlin.
Faust takes this throw to Fernando, who's happy to have it in the corner. We've still got 7 or 8 minutes to go, looking to win a corner, and he can't.
It's a long time to stay in a corner for 7 minutes, isn't it?
Fair a while, isn't it? You see what he's trying to do? They're trying to win a corner, set piece for Tuggeranong, who have looked the more likely in this second half.
If anyone's going to score a goal, it looks like it may be Tuggeranong, because I don't know where the goal is going to come from here for Gungahlin. They've run out of ideas, and unless it's a set play to a Jack Green or a Blazovic on the far post, I just can't see where the goal is going to come from, Russ.
Well, 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go on Bar TV Sports. It's PS4 MPL Canberra football. Tuggeranong United 2, Gungahlin United 1. Here's Fernando for Tuggeranong, looking to bring it forward to find Slavic, who opened the scoring for the Greens. And Jack Green, though, has had him completely under control, mostly in the second half. Jack Green has been very, very good this afternoon.
He has, and the battle with Olorigby has been fantastic to watch. But now we need to see Jack Green and what he can do in the front third.
Is Timotheo. Chirek beats him in the air, and it's sent back by Daramy. Now Blazovic will chase after this, and across comes Gaia. And Roberts completes the clearance. The bounce is all important here, and Jenkins reads it well. Now he finds Walsh. Need to bring this one down if they can. Blazovic to Timotheo. In towards O'Dwyer. Brings it down nicely, O'Dwyer. Now Timotheo. This has got a bit of promise to it. Here's O'Dwyer again.
No.
And Highmore gets rid of it. In the end, the last
he scuffed his cross. He scuffed his cross.
Jenkins, though, can reignite this attack, but he slips and then does really well to go in between Smythe and Roberts. But Roberts snaps back and wins it. Daramy under pressure from Ola Rigby. And Ola Rigby might get the better of him here, and he does. Now here's a chance if Fernando can get a toe in, but Green reads it and brings it forward.
Yeah, Jack Green needs to get forward a bit more. With these last 5 minutes, they really need Jack Green to step up here.
And here he is, doing just that. Here's Vencombe, the substitute. Tries to go past Faust, who's dealt with everything that's been thrown at him very well again today.
Very impressed with Nick Faust's game today, Russ.
We'll have a chat about an unofficial man on the match towards the end of it, Tony, but he'd be up there, you'd think, along with the likes of Daniel Roberts, perhaps.
Yeah, Daniel Roberts. And Marco Guy's put in a good shift as well.
And for Gungahlin, Jack Green, obviously, it's been pretty good.
Jack Green. Regan Walsh has had a fantastic first half an hour of the game, but he's shied away in the rest of the game.
Well, that tactical change at half-time has certainly made the difference, I think, by Sean Murphy. Substitution for Tuggeranong sees Marshall Smythe's afternoon ended, and I think that's Riley Angelo Santi who's come on. Interesting signing from Belconnen.
Yes, from the under-18 competition last year. I think it was the Golden Boot winner for the under-18 competition in Canberra last year. So he had a bit of fire up front for... it's a good substitution for Tuggeranong, I think.
They've got 5 minutes left, and you think he might get an opportunity within that 5 minutes as well if Gungahlin continue to push on looking for this equaliser.
Yeah. Fernando has moved over here to the left-hand side. So let's see what he can do on the left-hand side here.
Chirek sends that up towards Ola Rigby, but Jenkins is going to win that one. Here is Angela Santi under pressure from Walsh. It falls for Vencombe.
We've got Daniel Roberts on the floor here. He's struggling to get up.
Chirek finds Slavic.
He's taken a knock. Daniel Roberts.
That ball, Slavic rolls it out of play, and probably Roberts is going to get a bit of treatment. As we come to the end of this match, Tuggeranong, as I said, started the day in 7th place on 13 points. Gungahlin were 5th on 19 points, so this will close the gap between the two and keep Tuggies in with an outside chance of a top 4 place.
Absolutely, absolutely. If they keep this form up, and with Ola Rigby and Fernando relationship up front growing, I think Tuggeranong might have a sniff here for a top 4 place this year.
Well, there's been another goal at O'Connor as Robbie Katanach has scored for Canberra Olympic. They lead Tigers FC by 2-0, so you think that one's done? I
think so. This time, with a few minutes to go, I think Olympics got that one wrapped up.
And that will put them back to the top of the PS4 NPL Canberra this evening. Still 1-1, I think, over at Deakin. Not heard anything different. So we're going to see that's the end of Daniel Roberts' afternoon, unfortunately.
With only 1 goal in this game, I'm just very, very surprised at the lack of urgency from Gungahlin at this stage of the game. No one's really stepping up and wanting to take this game from by the scruff of the neck.
Well, this is Aldi Cummins, who's come on for Tuggeranong for the final couple of minutes. For Roberts, who we were mentioning has had a good game. Here's Barton up towards Angela Santi. Wins the header well and finds Ola Rigby, who may take on Jenkins here. Ola Rigby's going to fall for Angelo Santi. Real chance to win it, and he has!
Fantastic.
Riley Angelo Santi!
Fantastic goal. Fantastic goal. And
just off the bench, scoring for Tuggeranong and probably sealing the points.
And I think the Coach Murphy might take a claim to that goal as well. Take a part of it.
And the young lad has shown just what he's about there, hasn't he? He's won the flick on. Ola Rigby's given them the ball back and then backed it up. And when he needed to be composed and finish, he certainly was.
Very, very good. From a young fella. He knows how to score goals. And he's another one another one of those players that could be knocking on that National Youth League door.
Well, that's a first goal at this level for Tuggeranong for Riley Angelo Santi. And doubt it would be the last if he can show composure of that kind of finishing. And that's probably the game because we're into stoppage time and Tuggeranong lead 3-1. Gungahlin will need to throw the kitchen sink and then some at this. Here's Walsh. Now Timotheu. Have they got a response? They need one straight away, you'd think. Here's Blazovic. Back to Daramy. No real movement ahead of him, though, and he's going to be forced to go backwards here. Fernando doesn't need to concede a foul, but he's found a good pass. And Blažević has got space in which to work here. Now, can he deliver? It's a ball across the penalty area.
Very
It's
good
going to
cross.
fall
It's a good
here
cross.
for Vierkum. It's back from Nomoski on the snapshot. Barton can't get there at the first attempt, but gathers as it bounces in front of him. But the first time they've been a real threatening cross from Gungahlin for quite some time.
Very good cross from Frano Blažević, the big man. And Miško needed a bit more power to trouble Barton.
Barton just gets as far away from his goal as he can. You can't blame him at this stage. Tuggeranong leading 3-1 into stoppage time. Here's Jenkins. Back to Denham. Looking for Blažević. Now this is a mismatch in the air, but King does well to challenge him. And Blažević is back with King, showing his strength. But King won't be shaken off it and does well, the youngster.
It's a good tussle since Frano come on. That's been a really good battle to watch between Matt King and Frano Blažević.
Here's Walsh. Space for the midfielder. Looks for Vierkum. He's going to find him as well. But Faust is out there quickly. Now here's Kirklich. Nomovski. Kirklich again. Now Jenkins. A lot of room in which to operate for Jenkins.
Darami on the ball.
Daramy swings it into the penalty area. It's headed clear by Churek. Back he comes again. Fernando tries to take it off him, but still going, Osman Daramy. But Churek wins that ball, and here come Tuggeranong, looking for maybe a fourth. Space for Alex Olorigby.
Watch
Two or three men in the middle. One of them is Jono Churek, who's kept running from the back.
Slavic on the far
Here's
post.
a chance for Angelo Santi again. Slavic comes in.
Oh, great
It's been a
save.
break for Angelo Santi, and it's cleared off the line by Kirklich, and he could have had a second there. The youngster prodded at it when maybe a bit more composure, could have swung a boot at it and got some contact. But once again, Tuggeranong looking dangerous on the break.
Went for the left. Went for the left boot when he should have gone with the right, unfortunately, there. But
Any connection?
great save. Great save from Jason Denham.
Any connection with the right boot from there would surely have put the icing on the cake for Tuggeranong.
And a well-deserved win, I think. Apart from the first half an hour, where Gungahlin took most of the control of this game, Tuggeranong have answered back, and answered back strongly.
Yeah, since they've equalised, they've been, and it looks like been one winner, hasn't there, really?
Absolutely.
Here's Barton. We've played a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Barton's happy to send this one up towards Olorigby, and Jenkins is going to have to read it, which he does. Here's Fernando. Tries to go past Daramy. Still there, Fernando. Blažević, though, wins it. Here's Timotheu. Now Walsh. Finally shook off Roberts because he's left the field. And that's just punted forward by King, looking for Olorigby, and that's a...
It's Adam Sasilja that's in the midfield there now for Tuggeranong.
Wearing number 11, is it?
Is it number? Yes, it is.
Yes,
number
it is
11.
Adam Sasilja, yeah.
Adam Sasilja's come on.
He's come on, yeah. He was the one that came on for
Daniel Roberts.
For Roberts, yeah.
Yep.
Not Cummins, as I said before.
Mhm.
So this youngster is another youngster from the Tuggeranong setup, Adam Sasilja.
Absolutely. Yep. Very good young player coming through. And you can't question Tuggeranong's youth development, can you?
Well, they keep churning them off, don't they, and bringing them through. And most of the time when they're in there, they look very comfortable. Here is Sasilja winning the tackle, looking to find Highmore. Now Fernando.
Now Fernando, as the game's gone on, he's shrugged off that back problem.
That's a good ball from Churek to find King, who's going to run at Jenkins here, and Jenkins is going to have to be careful. He's already been booked and does well defensively, David Jenkins, to bring that one away as we go into the third minute of time added on. Jenkins finds Daramy. Blažević has made a forward run. Churek's come across with him, and Churek does well to win the ball and will bring it away and win a free kick as well. And Jono Churek, he read that one very well and was strong enough to hold off the challenge of Frano Blažević.
I'm just looking at the Gungahlin players, and they look very, very tired to me.
It's been a long afternoon for them. Ball forward is the first aimless one they've hit for a while. It's going to fall for Fernando there. He's got Highmore with him.
Yep.
Instead, he's going to just go
He's in
infield
his groove.
to Angelo Santi. Here's his Olorigby.
Fernando's in his groove.
Forward comes Green. Still going Jack Green. Now Vierkum. Green wants it back, and he's going to get it back. Chance to cross it, perhaps. And in comes O'Dwyer, and he's timed that one all wrong and got under it when he really needed to be over it.
And
from that range, and anything over it, he probably would have scored.
And it's not ironic that it's the first time Jack Green has imposed himself with the ball and on the ball in this second half, and they get a half chance.
They need a couple of Jack Greens, don't they? One at the back and one up front, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think...
got plenty of quality.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks, Gungahllin's wheels have fallen off, I'm afraid.
And they've fallen off this afternoon because that's the final whistle, and it's Tuggeranong United who've come away with the 3 points. Tony, and you'd say probably deserved on the balance of play what we saw over the 90 minutes.
Yes, I think the difference... There's two, for me, the two changing elements for me were Murphy's talk in the change room and getting the Tuggeranong lads, particularly the midfield and the back four, pressing a little bit higher, about 5 or 10 metres up the field. That made a big difference. And the other difference for me is the overlapping fullbacks for Tuggeranong. Young King and Fost really dominated this game out wide.
Yeah, you said at the start of the second half there, that space in the first half where Reagan Walsh and Anthony Timothée were dominating possession for Gungahlin just wasn't there in the second half, was it? And Roberts and his midfield colleagues, Dom Colicello and latterly Liam Highmore, they really shut that down.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they needed to, and they did that and ended up winning this game comfortably in the end.
Going forwards, Tuggeranong offered a lot more of a threat. Things they've said over the years about Tuggeranong, they've not had that threat in the final third, but it looks like with Fernando, what we saw of him today, with Alex Ollerigby's goal-scoring ability, and with young Marshall Smythe as well, that they've got some talent up front now that could cause teams problems. And
those two overlapping fullbacks, that for me, that is the difference in this game. And look, things are looking good for Tuggeranong with Ollerigby and Fernando, and that relationship building. I think they've got goals in them.
Well, thanks very much, Tony Oliveira, for your co-commentary this afternoon. It's been a pleasure having you here. Good luck for Woden Western for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much for us. It's been a pleasure.
Well, it's been a cold afternoon now as the sun's gone down. It was Gungahlin United who took the lead in this one through Mishko Naumoski, but Tuggeranong United hit back. Andrew Slavic equalised in the 35th minute. Then 6 minutes later, Alex Ollerigby put them in front. Then the icing on the cake in stoppage time as Riley Angelo Santi came from the bench to net the third for Tuggeranong United in the PS4 MPL Canberra live on Bar TV Sports. At Canberra 2, it's finished Tuggeranong United 3, Gungahlin United 1.